Coming up on KUJH, Governor Kelly heard the complaints over the new Kansas license plates loud and clear, as the production has been paused.
And 'tis the season. Find out the festivities that have taken place around the Lawrence area to help ring in the holidays.
Plus, today starts a big weekend in KU sports, as the KU volleyball team is hosting the first and second rounds of the NCAA volleyball tournament. We will also bring you all the latest on the men's basketball game on Friday.
Live from the studio in Stauffer Flint at the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Welcome back to KUJH News. I'm Sydney Clark.
And I'm Brock Niemeyer. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here on KUJH. In August, KU released its plan for renovating the football stadium. Now, KU Facilities Planning and Development is in the early stages of the campus master plan. Earlier this month, the university got a look at the 10-year plan for improving the rest of campus. The new plans involve landscaping and updates to connect Jayhawk Boulevard with more parts of campus like Allen Fieldhouse. The focus is on improving what already exists rather than starting from scratch.
It is a very new way of how we're thinking about campus planning. Traditionally, campus plans are very prescriptive about we need to add 20 more buildings around academic buildings. This needs to be very data driven, and it needs to be one that we can make it flexible, that's going to continue to help us inform decisions.
The plan is being finalized and the Board of Regents will have to approve it.
New changes may be in the works downtown. KUJH reporter Blake Ullman has more about upcoming developments and how downtown parking could be more difficult.
Earlier this month, the City of Lawrence took the first step in redeveloping a number of parking lots. City commissioners bounced around a number of ideas about what they possibly wanted in place of parking.
We did get like a drawing or a mock-up for a grocery store on the edge of 3, that big one. And I would love for us to have a downtown grocery store.
The commission narrowed their focus to 3 parking lots on New Hampshire Street and Vermont Street.
The final details about what exactly could become of these parking lots is yet to be finalized by city staff and employees. They're waiting to hear back from developers. But one thing I am hearing from people down here is they are concerned about the parking situation becoming more scarce.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting to see what else comes down here and to have new places to visit, but parking's already hard enough as it is, and I worry for the businesses already here and for new businesses that it's going to be not good for customers.
City staff released a 17-page document asking developers to submit proposals by January 16th. Shortly after, more details should be released to the public. For KUJH News, I'm Blake Ullman.
Thanks, Blake. Definitely something we'll be looking for in the next year.
Last week, the state of Kansas proposed a new design for license plate that was not received by most Kansas residents.
This backlash comes from the color scheme chosen for the new design, closely resembling the school colors of a certain university we all know across the state line. Governor Laura Kelly announced on Tuesday that the state will pause production of the new plate, saying, quote, "I've never heard you loud and clear. Elected officials should be responsive to their constituents, which is why we are adjusting the process so Kansas can provide direct input on our state's next license plate."
Kelly said the state will announce details about the new designs and a public vote in the future. She did not give an estimated date.
The Haskell Indian Nations University campus in Lawrence, Kansas is home to the Haskell Culture Center and Museum. Good Morning Indian Country's Abby Lord introduces us to this important cultural space and the person who is in charge of sharing its treasures and its stories.
The Haskell Cultural Center and Museum opened on September 14, 2002. The museum displays Haskell's story through diverse collections and photographs to capture the Fighting Indians' vast history. The museum explains how football put the school on the map, honors Native American veterans through all U.S. wars, how Fog Allen's son assumed charge of the basketball team, as well as more. The museum director, Travis Campbell, explains how much he has grown since working there.
Taking the helm over here has enabled me to expand my experience creatively and in storytelling, and also in trying to condense writing a very long and detailed history into a much more digestible format for our visitors.
The center is used as a space for Haskell alumni to visit, for current students to explore, and for non-natives to expand their knowledge of Haskell's history. For Native American Heritage Month, KU volleyball players visited the center. Freshman libero Reagan Burns explained what she learned the most about it.
It was really cool. I didn't even know that was over there before they told us. That resource, I don't know, it was just really eye-opening just to see everything they had gone through, how the school was a place where they were suffering first and how they made it a place of opportunity. I think that was really inspiring and cool to see.
The museum is not only free, but also offers self-guided tours through the museum, but also a self-guided tour of Haskell. For KUJH News, I'm Abby Lord.
If you would like to visit this center, it is open weekdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And you can check their Facebook page to keep up on any changes to the schedule.
Well, the weather has been all over the place lately, Sid.
It has, Brock. Ashton, hopefully we can expect some warmer weather in the next week. How's the forecast looking today?
Yesterday, our temperatures got up into the 50s. 55 degrees was our high yesterday, so that was a little bit above average. However, though, tomorrow we are dipping well below average. Temperatures across the country right now are looking pretty good. Lawrence here at 50. Like I said, we'll be warming up today, though, with quite a bit of cloud coverage. These clouds are going to keep us dry until later into the afternoon when they bring those chances of rain that is going to carry with us into tomorrow night as well. Today, our highs getting up to 51 degrees with those clouds, and then those chances of rain will begin later into the afternoon around 4 p.m., increasing our chances of rain into the evening up to 90% chance of rain, and our temperatures are dropping from the 50s down into the 30s for tonight, and then tomorrow is going to be an awfully chilly night for us. And then coming up ahead, we are going to take a look at those overnight rain chances when they are expected to hit. Our wintry mix expected for tomorrow, and then the sunshine will return early next week, and we'll talk all about this coming up next.
Thank you for that update, Ashton.
Well, it's officially that time of year again, and the city of Lawrence is showing its holiday spirit all down Massachusetts Street. KUJH reporter Dylan Vanderveen sheds light on the holiday spirit these downtown lights bring to the local community.
The city of Lawrence decorates downtown Mass Street every year for the holiday season, leading many to come catch a glimpse at the thousands of feet of Christmas lights. The city has been known to decorate Mass Street for different holidays, but the Christmas lights display could be the most popular with Lawrence residents.
Well, Christmas is my favorite time of the year, so I think the lights around here are really fun for everyone. It's like a joy to the community, and you don't really have to go far to look around and see some pretty lights this holiday season.
The city of Lawrence told KUJH the city looks forward to the lights every year. However, it does take a lot of work, and they need all hands on deck to get it perfect. I'm Dylan Vanderveen, KUJH News.
The city of Lawrence will have the lights up all the way through the new year, so make sure you go downtown to check them out.
After the break, learn more on how the holiday season affects your local restaurants. Stay right with us.
Up next on KUJH, we'll give you a look to see how the economy is affected during this upcoming holiday season.
Welcome back to KUJH News. The holidays are here, and that means a lot of us are scrambling to find the perfect gift for that special someone in our lives.
We do see a big fluctuation in Lawrence, especially when you think about Lawrence at Christmas time, holiday season, you think of Mass Street, right? And so we do see a lot of stores downtown that really do very well at Christmas time, and especially when we're bringing in events like the Lawrence Old Fashioned Christmas Parade.
According to Statista, holiday seasons are important for retailers due to the large growth in sales, and restaurants are also seeing an uptick in business. At 715, server Paige Whiteside says her tips grow a lot during the holidays.
This time of year, my tips are bigger just because of the holidays. I don't know, people are more generous. And like I said, we have less people coming in. However, people are very generous and want to spend money. So tips have definitely been good.
The boost from holiday shoppers is especially important for locally owned businesses.
We really have a heart for those mom and pop businesses, for those small business owners. We have a really, really big heart for them, and we try and support them when we can. So we work closely with the city of Lawrence and, do what we can to help promote them, especially.
The holidays aren't the only thing boosting Lawrence's economy. According to Chris O'Brien, the Jayhawks football team is bringing in more fans and also good business.
Seeing on game days, not even when the games are played at home, but even the away games, these restaurants are packed in Lawrence, and it's so exciting and so fun to see.
For KUJH, I'm Claire Decatur.
Thanks, Claire. Whether it's football or the holidays, Lawrence is getting a little busier this time of year.
The O'Connell Children's Shelter offers assistance to children in need. This year, they're making the holiday seasons brighter with some holiday festivities. KUJH reporter Francesca Onofrio tells us more.
O'Connell Children's Shelter is hosting its 37th annual Festival of Trees at Marcelli's on New Hampshire. The hall is lined with trees decorated and donated for auctions supporting the shelter. Cookies with Santa is a big hit with the community.
Oh, so far the cookies. Just seeing all the kids decorate the cookies and enjoy themselves like this kid.
Kids, parents, and even KU football players came out and supported the shelter.
I would say just the excitement, just to see their excitement, just to see how locked in they were to hear my story, just to hear where I came from, and then just getting the chance just to hear their story and get to know them was pretty exciting to me.
O'Connell has 5 residential group homes and has a lot of prevention programming trying to keep families together. This is their one big fundraiser that they put on every year.
We have grants and funding for things from the state to do the housing of the foster kids, right? But if we want to make sure that that foster kid is ready to enter the world, those kinds of things that aren't necessarily basic necessities, events like this that's why we do these things.
There are many ways to volunteer with information located on their website. Many volunteers feel the exact same way.
You know, they're getting their pictures taken today with Santa. They're getting to decorate their own cookies. That's what makes it all for me, is just looking at their faces and how excited they get.
The event runs through December 3rd. Francesca Onofrio, KUJH.
This time of year, there's a lot of fun things going on to help make the season a little brighter.
Well, Sydney, we saw our first snow of the year last week here in Lawrence.
Ashton joins us in studio to tell us a little bit more about this winter wonderland we got last week.
Lawrence saw quite a bit of snowfall last weekend. This is a look at a picture from campus. Just last weekend we saw quite a bit of snow, but we weren't the only location that saw the snow. St. Joe got up to 2.3 inches of snow. Lawrence saw 2.6 inches of snowfall here. And the further west you went, the more snowfall you accumulated in Kansas. Some places to the west of Topeka saw up to 4 inches and above of snowfall. And this was pretty on trend for when we are expected to see our first snowfall, typically in later November, early December, as we're right there on that line. And last week was in the end of November, so we were definitely hitting right there on that seasonable trend. Looking outside now, though, this is a live shot of Manhattan, and most of the snow in all locations are now melting as our temperatures have risen. We are in the 50s for today, clearing a lot of those snow piles out of our viewing area. However, though, coming up, we are expected to see another chance of precipitation starting tonight, leading into tomorrow, and we'll talk about that in the full weather.
Thanks again, Ashton.
Snowfall means winter is right around the corner, and as we all know it, it's a big time for sports. With 3 of the 4 major sports in season right now, sports betting is in its prime.
Kansas legalized sports betting in September of 2022. I sat down with lawyer and KU professor Mark Johnson to go more in depth about the overall impact the new law has had on the state.
Yay.
Gambling is something Americans have been doing for centuries. It was first legalized by the state of Nevada in 1931, but in the last 5 years, sports betting has taken the U.S. by storm. Since 2018, 38 states plus Washington, D.C. now at least have some form of legalized sports betting, including our very own state of Kansas, who legalized sports betting in September of 2022.
Bettors can either place their bets online through a variety of apps such as FanDuel or DraftKings, or place them in person, like here in Kansas City, Kansas at the Hollywood Casino where there's the Barstool Sportsbook. If you place your bets in person, you receive a nice bet slip, like this one right here. The sports betting industry in the U.S. generated over $7 billion in revenue in 2022. Lawyer and KU professor Mark Johnson says that Kansas hopes to reap the benefits in tax revenue eventually, but the results in year one were slightly lower than the state had hoped.
They had to make predictions as to sort of what kind of tax revenues it would generate. And it hasn't met those projections as yet.
For a majority of sports fans, the legalization of sports betting is something much more simple than tax revenue. Aiden Mertz, a KU student and avid sports fan, says he enjoys sports betting because it makes watching sports more exciting.
It gives the game a more exciting feel to it. You lock in, you focus on players, you focus on teams. But if I have money on the game, I'm cheering, I'm getting up, I'm standing, I'm yelling, and sometimes it causes a scene, but
a lot of sports bettors choose to gamble because of the adrenaline rush. This can become a problem for some people. Gamblers can become addicted to this feeling. Gambling addiction can lead to financial ruin, mental health issues, and substance abuse problems. Citizens who are deciding to gamble should be made aware of these possibilities. If you feel like you need help with a gambling addiction, visit npcgambling.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER. For KUJH News, I'm Brock Niemeyer.
It will be interesting to see how sports betting impacts the Kansas economy in years to come.
After the break, Shamaria Massenberg will catch us up to speed in sports. Stay right with us.
I'm Jack Dinnebeim, and coming up on KUJH News, I visit with the Eudora High School wrestling teams as they prepare for the season.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. Victory.
Welcome back to KUJH Sports. I'm Shamaria Massenberg, and we have a ton to catch you up on, starting with some Kansas volleyball. On Sunday, Kansas volleyball received the 4 seed in the Wisconsin quarter of the NCAA tournament. That means Kansas will play host to the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. The city of Lawrence will welcome in Yale, Penn State, and Nebraska Omaha for a weekend of loser goes home volleyball. The tournament will get underway on Thursday afternoon as Yale will take on Penn State, and 30 minutes after the conclusion of that game, Kansas will take on Nebraska Omaha.
And we think this team's in a really good place to compete favorably once we get the opportunity to do that this week. So let's go.
Chad Cushing is outside of Horsch Volleyball Arena with more on the matchup.
7 hours away from first serve of Kansas versus Omaha in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Now, these teams did meet before earlier in the season where Kansas traveled to Omaha and swept the Mavericks in 3 sets. This is the first time Kansas has had the opportunity to host an NCAA tournament match since 2016, and this year's team is full of stud star power that was recently rewarded at the Big 12 postseason meetings. Setter Cameron Turner was named Big 12 Setter of the Year, and she was joined by Aya El Nadi and Reagan Cooper on the Big 12 All Big 12 first team. Outside hitter London Davis was named to the All Big 12 second team, and libero Reagan Burns was an All Big 12 rookie team selectee. Not to forget, head coach Ray Burchard won his 5th Big 12 Coach of the Year award in his storied 26-year career at Kansas. Now, just a reminder, Kansas versus Omaha tonight right here at Horsch Volleyball Arena in the first round of the NCAA tournament. First serve comes to you at 7 o'clock. For KUJH Sports, I'm Chad Cushing.
Thanks, Chad. Kansas football wrapped up regular season play last Saturday as the team traveled to Cincinnati to take on the Bearcats, and this one was over in a hurry. Kansas dominated Cincy as Jason Bean completed 13 of his 17 passes for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. Running back Devin Neal ran for 107 yards and an additional 2 touchdowns as Kansas rolled over the Bearcats by a final score of 49-16. Kansas finished their season with an 8-4 record, and they will await their bowl game destination on Sunday. There are a number of possibilities for the Jayhawks to play at, including Orlando, Houston, and Phoenix. But as for now, another Kansas team has a giant matchup right here in our backyard, and our Carson Shea has more on the matchup.
Thanks, Shamaria. I'm currently outside of Allen Fieldhouse, where in less than an hour, the women's basketball team will be facing off against Southeastern Louisiana. The Lions are 4-3 on the season, while the Jayhawks are 2-3, so it should be a great one here at the Fieldhouse. Not only are the women's playing, though, as tomorrow night, the last 2 men's national champions will battle when number 4 UConn takes on number 5 Kansas in a great one. The Jayhawks are 6-1 on the season, following a 2-1 Maui Invitational record where they dropped a semifinal game to Marquette, but the team bounced back against Tennessee to claim third place. UConn, however, hasn't lost a game in 264 days, going 13-0 in that stretch, and of course, winning last year's men's national championship game. There will be no shortage of star power from the players to the coaches, and it's just going to come down to who wants it more. Be sure to tune in at 12:30 today and 8 p.m. tomorrow for 2 amazing games. For KUJH News, I'm Carson Shea.
Taking a look at high school sports, wrestling season is right around the corner, and the Eudora High School teams are preparing for their season. KUJH reporter Jack Denenbaum has more on the story.
The Eudora wrestling teams are ready to take down the competition this year after sending 4 wrestlers to state last season. Head coach Miles Cleveland said he has high expectations for the Cardinals as they try to build off what those 4 qualifiers accomplished last season.
We had some kids that were on the bubble at the regional tournament last year that I feel like we should have pushed through to the state tournament, but we will this year. And I have pretty high expectations for both teams, and I'm excited for both.
On the girls' side, Cleveland said he would like to send at least 6 girls to state after so many were very close to making it last season. As one of those girls who was on the cusp last season, senior Kylie Music says she is coming into this season with a chip on her shoulder.
I'm coming out for revenge. It is happening. I really want to make it to state this year. Like I said, I came up short last year, so hoping I can place at regionals, get to state, maybe place if I can, but that's really my biggest goals.
The boys team has their goals set high for this season as well. Senior Nate Reason says the team wants to win at least 5 duels and send 4 members to state to double their production from last season. Reason is excited by the makeup of this year's team and how the coaches will run practice this year.
I think we got a lot of good athletes on our team this year. I think the way we're going to practice is going to be a little bit different than last year, and hopefully that'll affect us in a positive way.
The Cardinals will travel to Santa Fe Trail High School for their first duel of the season on Thursday. I'm Jack Denenbaum, reporting for KUJH News.
All 4 of the wrestlers who qualified for states last season returned to the team this year as well. It should be an exciting season for the Cardinals. That's all for this week in sports. After the break, we take you to an antique and vintage show. Stay right here.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Welcome back to KUJH.
Some local shoppers found a way to get a jump start on their Christmas list by going old school. KUJH's Emma Crouch shows us some of the unique finds to be had at this year's Lawrence Antique and Vintage Show.
The annual Lawrence Antique and Vintage Show took place this past weekend at the Douglas County Fairgrounds. The event took place on both Friday and Saturday. Admission for the 2-day event was $5 per person and gained access to both days of the event. It was a great time for anyone interested in thrifting and finding vintage items.
So I am really into going thrifting and hitting up estate sales and such. So when we saw this antique show in the newspaper, we were like, hello, we need to be here. So yeah, we just like roaming around, looking at all the things. We like looking at antique things, so yeah.
There are 27 vendors from the Kansas City area, all selling different items. Some of these items included Christmas decor, vintage dolls, and a lot of other fun trinkets. The show had a little something for everyone of all ages.
It's got something for everybody. One thing that we liked, me and my partner here yesterday, we actually got this like 1920s, like little cigarette case, and it little brass, and I've been using it as a wallet.
Next year, the event will still take place at Douglas County Fairgrounds, but will have a new owner. To find out more details, check out their Facebook page. Emma Crouch, KUJH.
I'm definitely putting those outside Santa's Workshop decorations on my Christmas list this year. What a great way to find one-of-a-kind gifts.
One KU student turns her thrift finds into flips. Inspired by her mom, Annie Bogarts turns thrift store finds into a variety of art and fashion. KUJH's Grace Gom has her story.
Meet Annie Bogart, a thrifting expert and an art creator. She has a knack for finding hidden gems at thrift stores and transforming them into one-of-a-kind pieces.
And then the more exposure I had in thrift stores, the more I would go look at other things. So now I thrift basically anything, and lots of furniture and decor.
Annie's art is inspired by her love of fashion and vintage style. She uses recycled materials and found objects to create unique pieces that are both stylish and sustainable.
Something else that really helped me was taking a history to fashion class and learning about the different silhouette styles in each decade, which I think is really cool. So like the 1920s was a very slim silhouette. And not only does that help me like find more unique articles of clothing, but I also think it's pretty special to wear something that was from so long ago.
Bogart says a lot of her inspiration comes from her mom, who's an art teacher. Her mom has taught her how to be more resourceful and practice different art mediums.
She really helps cultivate that creativity. So like we were downtown and we saw that shopping cart, and my mom was the one that stole it from the side of the street and goes like, this could be a planter, like that would be really cute. And I totally agreed. So we took it home in the trunk and made it a planter.
Bogart's passion for creativity and sustainability has helped her discover her hobby and express herself no matter her budget.
What an interesting hobby. For more information, check out Annie Bogart's Instagram at BogaLikesPaint.
The weekend is right around the corner, and Ashton joins us for what you need to know to be weather aware for your weekend plans.
We are taking a look at our temperatures across the region right now. Here in Lawrence, sitting at 50 degrees, up in Topeka, still in the 40s. However, though, we are warming up just slightly into those lower 50s for today with calm winds out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles per hour for most of the day. And then the winds will be shifting to the north later today. This is a look at that afternoon planner for us. Temperatures are in the 50s there by 1 p.m. and those chances of rain are going to remain minimal until later into the evening. So by 3 p.m. still looking at that 20% chance of rain, but then by 4 p.m. it's increasing to 30% chance of rain, and into the evening we are increasing up to 90% chance of precipitation. That's going to stay with us until early into the early a.m. hours, about 5 a.m. when we're going to start to clear out, but our temperatures are dropping dramatically. We're in the 50s now, dropping into those upper 30s overnight with these rain chances. As you can see, we have that storm just passing right on through us, but giving us those clearer skies to start the morning off with on Friday. However, though, the wintry mix is going to return into the afternoon. For tomorrow, about 2 p.m. is when we can start to see our next chance of precipitation return, about 30% there. With our cooler temperatures, is going to give us that mix of rain and snow for tomorrow. As you can see, we have that storm system passing through, and then clear skies, and then those chances of snow and precipitation begin again on tomorrow afternoon. However, though, it won't be accumulating like it did last weekend. This is a look at our temperature trend for the next 7 days, starting off warm today and then making quite a jump there on Friday. And then we have this slow warming trend into next week, giving us lots of sunshine to start the week off with. This is a look at that 7-day forecast for us. We have chances of precipitation until Saturday, and then the sun is returning there on Sunday with a slow warming trend back into those mid-50s by next Wednesday.
Well, it looks like it's going to be another rainy one.
But don't be too gloomy, because a Wendy's is opening on campus.
The University of Kansas recently opened an American classic food chain in the Kansas Union. Featuring favorites such as Frosties and the $5 Biggie Bags, Wendy's is expected to be a Chick-fil-A's newest competition.
Today is actually our first day open, so we've been going at it since 10 o'clock this morning, and it hasn't stopped and hasn't slowed.
Located on the 3rd floor alongside Chick-fil-A, Wendy's opened on Wednesday the 29th and proudly serves students from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Here at Wendy's, we've always been partnered with KU, and it's one of the things that we really, truly appreciate about Lawrence and the KU University and the Wendy's brand. We are really big supporters, and we're just happy to be on campus.
Wendy's is sure to be a hit, and it's the only location directly on KU's campus. If you are currently seeking a job, you can apply at the Wendy's today through Indeed.com. Thank you for joining us on KUJH this week.
Come back next Wednesday for our last show of the semester.
And a reminder to keep up to date with KUJH on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as visiting our website at tv.ku.edu.